Welcome to the 2022 Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic on ESPN. Back here in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. First of two semifinals coming your way. SMU out of the American Athletic Conference taking on Utah State from the Mountain West. These teams getting here by virtue of wins on day one yesterday. SMU came back from down 12 in the second half to top Iona 85-81. Utah State, well, they dominated against Seattle U, taking that one 84-56. Aloha, everybody, inside Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center next to Malcolm Huckabee. I'm Kanoa Leahy. And Huck, well, you got two teams that feel very good about themselves, maybe even thinking they could get a championship here in Hawaii this week.
Yeah, championship. Both these teams thinking about having a very good Christmas going in to today's game. We're going to see some high-level basketball from both these teams. Both teams very well coached. And if you like threes, you're at the right place. Both these teams shoot the three ball pretty well. Well,
one guy who was definitely playing at a high level yesterday, Zach Nuttall for SMU, dropped a season-high 24 on the Gales.
Coach Rob Lanier talks about him. He's a leader. He is the leader of this team. His mid-range game is lethal. Some of the best footwork you'll see coming off pin downs right there, showing off the hops. This is going to be a key matchup for this Utah State team.
Meanwhile, on the other side for the Aggies, Stephen Ashworth is shooting almost 55% from outside the three-point arc.
One of the most under-the-radar guards, not just in mid-major, but in college basketball. You leave him alone, he's going to make you pay. I think his defense has been key in this one as well, too. Yesterday's game had 4 steals.
So the tip is in the air, and corralling it along the far sideline is Taylor Funk. We're playing basketball, semifinal number 1 here in the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. This is Max Shulga. Had a double-double yesterday, 12 points, 10 rebounds, also added 4 assists, but first possession goes under 10 seconds. Shulga checking out the shot clock and then calls his own number and drills the 3 to break the ice.
Defending the three-point line, key number 1 for SMU. Utah State averages 11 threes made per game. If you leave them open on the three-point line, they will make you pay. They shoot over 40% from the three-point line.
Turnaround shot by Effie Odigi, 6'9", grad transfer for SMU, averaging 8.5 points per game. Right corner 3. Utah State likes to get it up, and that guy has the green light for sure. Taylor Funk, who's shooting 43% from distance, however, puts up an air ball on his first offer. See how quickly SMU can maneuver up the floor. Zurich Phelps' pass, though, goes out of bounds. Aggies head coach Ryan Odom in his 2nd season, 9th overall, though, as a head coach, and he's got his Utah State squad off to a 10-1 start this year.
I love the way they play balance. They have 5 players that average double digits. They average close to 20 assists per game. They spread you out, and they do a good job sharing the ball. They are one of the better passing teams in college basketball.
Good defense there exhibited against that Sean Bairstow tape. Zurich Phelps, number 1 with the handle, but it's going to be a out-of-bounds call along the far sideline as Sam Williamson stepped on the line. Rob Lanier is the head coach for SMU in his first season, but he is no newcomer to the coaching game. Over 3 decades of coaching experience.
And coached with and alongside some Hall of Famers, Billy Donovan. One of those, and he's doing a great job with this SMU team. I think one of the things, them getting bonded, I think this is a good example of them in this tournament playing together as a unit with a lot of new faces.
Sean Bairstow, the 6'8" senior from Brisbane, Australia, he's averaging just over 10 points per game, gets the runner to go. In fact, Utah State with 5 different players averaging double figures.
It's impressive how they space you out, and that's something that Coach Lanier was concerned about to go along with the 3-ball, but this is a hot start for both these teams. I said it in the open, if you like offense and three-point shooting, you're in and at the right place. Both these teams playing at a high level offensively.
And defensive foul going to go against Williamson. Yeah, Effie Odigi not exactly at the top of the scouting report as far as the guy to watch out for from a perimeter shooting standpoint. He knocks down the 3. It's his first made 3 of the season.
and he was so wide open right here. I think, again, that's just, you don't want to give that much airspace. That's a breakdown by Utah State. You certainly don't want to leave him that wide open from the perimeter.
Here's Ashworth for three. That one a little long. Going up the elevator shaft for the board is Bairstow. Ashworth a second time. That one off the heel and out of bounds. Last touched by Jalen Smith, so it stays here with Utah State.
And defensive rebounding, that's another thing Coach Lanier and staff talked about. Because of the spacing of Utah State, they do a good job getting offensive rebounds and getting second chance opportunities. If you're SMU, you got to put a body on somebody every time.
Oh, a little overzealous on the hedge was Efiodiji. He's going to pick up the foul. Utah State, the numbers offensively are just gaudy. They entered this tournament tops in the nation in three-point percentage, over 44% as a squad. Just about everybody has the okay to let it go from outside the arc. But the green lights for Stephen Ashworth and Taylor Funk, well, they're downright nuclear bright. As Bairstow misses the jump hook, and Williamson pulls down the rebound, and the whistle goes against the Aggies. Here are some of the national rankings here offensively for Utah State.
I think the big one is the assist and obviously three-point shooting numbers. I mean, look, you're over 40% from the three-point line. You got 5 players in double digits. They do a really good job spacing you out, and then they run a lot of actions with their guards and wings.
And Zurich Phelps gets in the book. 6'3" sophomore from Midland, Texas. He's averaging 19.5 points per game, tops on the team, a dynamic scorer.
He is in line for most improved player in college basketball. He averaged 3 points a game last year for SMU. He's up close to 20. He's going to be a guy, if he keeps playing at this level, that's going to be in the discussion for Player of the Year in the American Conference. He is that good.
A couple of misses from outside the arc by Funk. Utah State still with it, though. Here's Ashworth driving to the baseline, averaging 18 points a game. Shulga got the step, the reverse too strong. Trevin Dorius couldn't follow it up. Shot clock violation. Utah State going to claim that the shot by Shulga hit the rim. And so they should have got a reset on that, but instead shot clock violation takes us to our first media timeout.
It looked like the ball did not touch the rim, but we got some high-level basketball going on early. Both teams trying to get to the championship game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Hawaiian Airlines. Hawaii flies with us. And Ticketmaster. Ticket Smarter. Experience the power and excitement of live events with Ticket Smarter. Think smart. Think Ticket Smarter. Well, back here in Honolulu, Hawaii, semifinal number 1 here in the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. SMU over Utah State 7-5, and the officials reviewing that last shot clock expiration. They called the shot clock violation against Utah State, but do you see the ball hit the rim here?
And right here, yeah, now again, from that angle, you can't tell if he pinned the ball up against the backboard and rim or just the backboard. And I think that's what they're discussing right now. And we just got word it is a shot clock violation, so it is going to be SMU ball. And early on, the defensive contest by SMU has been impressive. Utah State has missed 6 straight field goals, and they're scoreless in the last 202. So, again, the emphasis with SMU defending this Utah State offense, closeouts and contest. That's going to be key in this game. The way they shoot the ball, averaging 11 threes made per game.
SMU basketball up by 2 here. Utah State, a cold start here. 2 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 6 from three-point range, and there is Zach Nuttall getting back to business. 6'3" senior. Spent 3 years at Sam Houston State, where he was a former Southland Conference Player of the Year.
You know, he does a great job off of pin downs. Early the raise up for a jumper. That time, Utah State bigs flattened out, and he just kept going down the lane. Excellent offense by SMU.
Bairstow for three. That one rattles and then goes. It danced for a moment. Second made three here for the Aggies.
Any airspace, they're going to make you pay. I mean, they are that good shooting the three. That's just a breakdown by SMU. You cannot leave anybody on the court alone from the three-point line for this Utah State team.
There's Sam Williamson going over the left shoulder, and it is last touched out of bounds by the Aggies. Stays here. Some substitutions here for both sides. Rylan Jones comes in for Utah State.
For all these teams, fatigue. Second day, these type tournaments, coaches going to their bench early, and I think trying to keep guys fresh. Again, quick turnaround, both these teams. Utah State were able to rest some of their starters early because of the way they handled business yesterday. SMU had a tough game against Iona that they were able to pull out late in the second half.
Henry Lanier, Jefferson Coulibaly among the guys coming in for SMU, but they go to Zurich Phelps. Head coach Rob Lanier saying that Zurich Phelps still just scratching the surface of what he's capable of, and that's just downright scary.
I saw him in the elevator this morning coming down. I told him I disagree with you after seeing him up close. That guy's pretty good. Again, averaging 3 points a game last year, up to close to 20. He is going to be one of the better players in the American Conference.
4 seconds to shoot here on this possession. So with nobody to pass it to, Sean Bairstow just calls his own number and he hits it.
Everybody just left him a scramble situation, and that's twice now. Pretty clean looks from beyond the arc.
There's Stefan Todorovic. And a good maneuver to get that bucket to go. 13-11. Utah State with the other subs in there. Z Hamoda, Dan Akin. This is an Aggie squad that gets massive production from their bench. Hamoda tries a three. A little long within the rebound off to Phelps. Three ball by Lanier. And the rebound off to Bairstow.
Great block out by Utah State that time. That's a great example of team rebounding. Everybody had a body on somebody, not allowing SMU to get to the offensive glass.
Akin, look at the ball movement. It's Bairstow again. Not able to hit that time. Utah State now 3 of 10 from downtown. Phelps in a hurry gets it up the floor. Lanier for three. And the son of head coach Rob Lanier striking from outside the property line.
All set up by Zurich Phelps. And that's the area that he's improved upon, that point guard position. That's a great read in transition.
We got a whistle, and it's going to be a 3-second violation. It's going to go against Dan Akin. The speed up and down the floor by these Mustangs.
And this is a great read, a rebound by Zurich Phelps, and then this is the area of growth. Before he would have tried to jack up that shot, that's a great dribble drive in transition to a kick out to your teammate who's wide open. Lanier finished it off with the three. That's great transition offense by SMU.
So Mustangs up 5. Closing in on 8 minutes into this first half. Here's Nuttall. Hard off the glass, but it's tapped cross court. Now Phelps has it. Driving baseline doesn't go, tipped around, and Hamoda finally clears it for the Aggies. Ashworth lost the handle. Mustangs running with numbers. Phelps throws it down.
energy right now for SMU is the advantage. Defensively, they are getting their hands in the passing lane, and then they're contesting shots for Utah State.
7 straight points by the Mustangs, but that is quickly turned around. And Dan Akin, the 6'9" grad transfer from London, England. And Cal Baptist by way of UMBC. The miss there with the left hand by Ogigi. Left corner 3, it's Hamoda. How about the frenetic pace up and down here? A lot of shots getting up here, Huck.
And that's a break for SMU, though. That's a wide open look in the corner for Hamoda.
Phelps stopping and popping for 3. And the rebound corralled by Ashworth. SMU shooting 57% to start this game, 31% for the Aggies. And that's going to be a turnover. Harassing defense by Jefferson Coulibaly. And the Mustangs galloping early, 18-13 over Utah State. And Zurich Phelps can do it from the outside, we know, but he can also elevate and finish with the best of them. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Hawaiian Airlines. Hawaii flies with us. And by Ticket Smarter. Experience the power and excitement of live events with Ticket Smarter. Think smart, think Ticket Smarter. Well, we've played almost 10 minutes here of this first of 2 semifinals coming your way. Day 2 action of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. And SMU impressive once again with their ability to get up and down the floor. But Zurich Phelps, you talked about the jump from last season, 3.8 points per game to almost 20 points per game. When's the last time you've seen a player make that kind of jump from year to year?
I have not. Again, I got to do a little bit more digging. Typically, you see that freshman to sophomore jump, first year, year-to-year jump. But this right here, probably in line for most improved player in college basketball. What he has done and how he has done it really has been impressive. And I think the big thing for Coach Lanier, learning to play the point guard position as well, too. So he's scoring as well as assisting as well for this SMU team as they break pressure by Utah State. Clinical on how they beat pressure and then get a high percentage look on the back end.
Steph Todorovic knocking down the 3, looking like another Steph on that occasion. And it's SMU up by 8. Good cut there along the baseline. Rylan Jones found Taylor Funk for the easy 2.
And this is a lineup that Coach Odom goes to, playing 2 point guards, Jones and Ashworth, essentially having 2 leaders, floor leaders out on the court. Both of them can shoot. But obviously both of them guys are high assist guys. And that time, beautiful setup by Jones for the easy layup.
Funk picking up that foul, so his first. 2 team fouls on either side. So not much to worry about just yet for either coach in that department. Here is Nuttall. Zach Nuttall, season high 24. Also was 2 of 6 from outside the arc against Iona yesterday. Also had 20 points in the loss to TCU back on the 10th of December, the game that preceded SMU coming out to the islands. As Funk can't hit on the jump hook.
I think the one area of concern when they go for this 2-guard lineup, the guards of SMU a little bit bigger. That time Nuttall using his size in the post.
And how about the sharing of the basketball? Smith setting up Williamson. And SMU moving the ball around, getting up and down the floor. I mean, this is exactly what Rob Lanier wants to see out of his Mustang.
Both teams very well coached, and I love the way SMU playing on offense right now, not settling for jumpers.
Ashworth yet to hit a 3, 0 for 3 so far from out there. And that pass picked off by Williamson. And he takes off. And Utah State is going to signal for a timeout.
You cannot do it any better. How you create offense with your defense. Samuel Williamson with the steal and then showing off the hops. SMU up.
Up early, Coach Green, on Indiana without Trace Jackson-Davis, second straight game.
Well, Coach Amir Abdul-Rahim is a very confident coach, and he's got a confident team. Spencer Rogers is a tremendous three-point shooter.
And no Xavier Johnson, so now they have 2 stars. That's hard to coach. You would know that, Malcolm, right? You need dudes.
Well, we welcome you back to Honolulu, Hawaii. A fantastic shot there of the USS John Paul Jones with the city of Honolulu in the backdrop. Of course, the long and special connection between the various military factions and the community here in the state of Hawaii. You got a chance to schedule a visit to Pearl Harbor here this week, huh?
I cannot wait, and first class all around this tournament. Again, we talked about the coaches of the high level of play that we have seen, but what else can you say? We're in Hawaii during the holiday season and watching some high level basketball being played, but certainly I am looking forward to getting over to Pearl Harbor, seeing some of the history.
Yeah, SMU playing at an awfully high level. 16-4 run until that bucket right there. Sean Bairstow putting in a strong first half. He already has 10, and he's going to go to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, that right there, a breakdown by SMU. The overhelp, you have 3 guys over there. Nobody picked up the cutter. And we talked about the passing of this Utah State team.
Bairstow, the long miss, tracked down by Ashworth. Foul, by the way, went against Phelps. And then the shot no good, and we got a whistle underneath the board.
Utah State early is getting some good looks. Again, that's not a bad look off the second chance opportunity. That one was just a little short, and I thought maybe fatigue wouldn't play a factor in this one until probably second half, but that one right there a little short early on in this game.
Foul goes against Williamson. Williamson with a pair of fouls. 4th team foul for SMU. Shoga, tough fadeaway, a little long with it, and Williamson able to grab the board, something that Sam Williamson does awfully well. He averages over 7 rebounds a game. One
of the best rebounding small forwards, not just in the American, but in college basketball. I had a chance to see him a lot when he was at Louisville, and he's got great elevation, and Coach Lanier and staff feel like he can impact the game without scoring, in particular on the defensive and offensive glass.
Phelps, the step back mid-ranger. He missed that one badly, and here comes Utah State the other way. Bairstow. Here's Ashworth, wide open 3, got it. Well, he missed his first 3 attempts from out there. You know, it was only a matter of time.
They were living dangerously. I said it earlier. Utah State, they were getting some good looks. They were just missing them. That's just way too much airspace, in particular for a guy that's shooting over 50 from the three-point line.
Yeah, almost 55% on the season and making 4 3-pointers per game. Phelps hanging in the air. Great defense by Shoga to contest without fouling, but we'll have a whistle after the fact.
Well, Utah State's ball movement, look at this right here, dribble drive, and then the extra passes. Again, this is what makes them such a dangerous team. That's a beautiful cross-court pass, breakdown by SMU, and that's something that Coach Lanier stressed to us. Keys to the game, #1. He said, look, you have to defend the three-point line against this Utah State team.
We're 3rd in Division I in three-point percentage. 4.1 made three-pointers per game. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Almost video game stuff.
And there was a discussion of potentially moving him out of the starting lineup when Ronald Jones came back, and he's been playing so well.
That would be a tough decision if you're Ryan Odom, as Odigi misses the jumper. Here's Ashworth feeling it. And here he goes, Stephen Ashworth, the 6'1" junior from Alpine, Utah. An 8-0 run here for the Aggies.
No hedge right here. Dribble handoff, the big. You got to step up and hedge or blitz. You cannot leave him open. We're just going to press a recording. If you leave Stephen Ashworth open on the three-point line, he is not going to miss. Way too much airspace. And again, I said it in the open, one of the most under-radar guards, not just in mid-major, but in college basketball. He is playing at that high of a level.
Here's Lanier in transition off of the inbound, and he'll go to the free throw line. I mean, after a made basket, after even a dead ball situation, the ability for SMU to get down the floor and in some cases beat the defense down there, it's crazy.
Yeah, it really is, and that's what they want to do. Utah State has shown some pressure, and a couple of times SMU has beat the pressure and then gotten some high percentage shots on the other end.
Lanier hits the first. The annual NBA on Christmas Day tradition continues with 5 star-studded games on ESPN and ABC. Sixers-Knicks starting the day at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Then it's Lakers-Mavs, followed by Bucks-Celtics, Grizzlies-Warriors, and Suns-Nuggets capping the night every year. Some of the association's best matchups.
Too many options. I mean, this is the best time of the year. You got college football, NFL, NBA, college. How about that? Luka versus the King, LeBron, and then Jason Tatum against Giannis.
Ashworth airballs one from outside the arc, but we got a whistle that's going to go against SMU away from the ball. And that's going to go against Emery Lanier. Followed his dad, Rob, to SMU. Transferred from Davidson. Basically decided to transfer after a long time. Davidson head coach Bob McKillop retired. 5:39 left to play here in half number 1. Get the sense Utah State starting to find its footing a little bit, and certainly when Stephen Ashworth is hitting threes, that gets him going.
Absolutely, and I think for SMU, the thing you got to be careful of, you don't want to overcommit on some of these. Because of that right there, their ability, they will put it down on the floor. If you overcommit and you're not good on your closeouts right there, again, you have to respect the 3, but all 5 guys on the court have the ability to put the ball and play you off the bounce. That is why they are a team with only 1 loss thus far. They just run beautiful offense. We talked about it, 5 players in double digits and close to 20 assists per game.
Taylor Funk completes the 3-point play, and it's an 11-1 Utah State run to get right back within 2. Competitive first half here in our first semifinal in the Islands as Odigi finishes up close. Had 7 points yesterday against Iona. Passed 1,000 points for his collegiate career. Of course, also played at Troy and UTEP. Ashworth turning the corner, and he's going to get bumped and fouled by Coulibaly, who's going to pick up the technical. Amy Bonner, part of this officiating crew that also includes Michael Greenstein and Darren George. Didn't like the reaction by Coulibaly.
Well, the guys now are going to have to adjust. You can't do that with any ref. Right now, again, they're calling that. So now you're going to have to adjust to how you're playing. No referee wants to get shown up. They're going to clean it up right now, and now SMU is going to have to adjust. You cannot give up freebies in a game like this.
So after a little further discussion, they will get on with the technical foul shot festivities. Stephen Ashworth steps to the line, an 86% free throw shooter.
Coach Lanier still talking to the refs, and that's a big swing right there again. The momentum back and forth. Felt like, again, I think the key word consistency. And now, look, SMU, that's how they're calling it. So now you're going to have to adjust. Certainly that's no easy feat with the way that Utah State runs their offense. And the other thing that we haven't talked about, we talked about it yesterday in the games, their bigs do a great job of setting screens. And that's a big reason, a big part of their offense. They do a great job setting screens.
Rare miss there by Ashworth. SMU still up a bucket. Jalen Smith gets the step, and he rolls right into the defender. And that's Ashworth, who dug in and absorbed that collision, gets the offensive foul call.
This right here. Yeah, again, that's good team defense right there, stepping in. Again, jump stop jumpers. That time you got to come under control. You get by your initial defender, come to a jump stop and make that pass. That's good team defense by Utah State.
So under 5 minutes to play here in the first frame. A 2-point game. What if you thought about the flow here as Funk tries a long three, doesn't get the bounce, and it is corralled by Jalen Smith.
It's exactly what I expected. High-level game, two teams that are very well coached, and some high-level offense.
Here's ODG. A couple of big bodies going at it, backing in on Dorius. Finish not there. Trevin Dorius, the 7'1", 240-pound senior with the board. And then Shulga. Dorius working it back up off the glass and in. Active sequence that time for Trevin Dorius.
That's great work on the offensive glass by Dorius. And then soft touch for the big.
And we are tied at 30. Zach Nuttall rims out just inside the arc. Utah State trailed by as many as 12. It was 27-15. And they have stormed back. Bairstow. And just trickles off the rim. And here comes Phelps.
And both teams are simplifying their offense. They're just putting guys in the post where they think they have a matchup.
And we got a whistle. It's going to go against Utah State. Looks like Dorius is going to pick this one up on the reach-in against the Zurich Phelps drive. But Trevin Dorius staying with it, using that size advantage. We got a ball game here in this semi.
Seth Crean and Cuff coming up at halftime. We've got Indiana, 19th ranked in the country, in a battle with Kennesaw State right now. We're making puns with Gales because Iona won their game, and it's a tundra outside.
That's very impressive. That Columbia degree always works.
Thanks, Coach. What are you seeing here? We got a good game now.
We really do. And I think SMU has got to make sure they continue to drive, continue to move the ball. The threes are going for them, but I mean, for them to close out this half, they've got to keep getting to the basket.
Utah State settled in. You can't simulate their speed in a 24-hour turnaround. By the way, Malcolm, it's a warm and balmy 20 degrees here in Bristol.
The conditions a little different where we're at. A great shot here of one of the many outrigger properties at your disposal if you make your way out to the islands. Full of beauty, full of fun to be had. And I mean, you mix in a little bit of top-notch college basketball, it's a great week.
My kids don't want to go home. They know what the weather's like back in Bristol. So, Seth, I may not make it back for a few weeks, man.
Yeah, I don't think the family's going to mind too much if you decide to extend the trip just a little bit. So 3:12 left to play here in the first half, and we do indeed have a game. Zurich Phelps going to the free throw line, and he knocks it down. He now has 7. What makes this guy so tough to guard, you think?
Oh, his size. Saw him downstairs in the lobby. He is a legit 6'5", 6'6", a great frame, great body control, and I think his continued progression of manning that point guard position when they asked him to do it. But make no mistake about it, the jump that he has made, he's put in the work, and he is going to be a big-time player in the American.
Right on cue, the takeaway and the breakaway goes right into Shulga, and it's SMU by 4.
That's what makes him a big-time player. His body control and upper body strength. Again, you can't appreciate how big he is until you see him in person. That's a guy 6'5", making the steal in the passing lanes. It's just impressive. He is going to be in the discussion for Player of the Year in the American Conference. Look at this right here. Use your big body, eyes on the rim, and then the body control and the ability to finish through contact. That is why he is up to close to 20 points per game.
Already has 10 in this one. Quick trigger by Shulga with the shot clock starting to get down. And last touched out of bounds by SMU. Yeah, the interesting thing about Zurich Phelps, he's still officially listed, at least according to all of the SMU documentation and literature, at 6'3", 175. But when you stand next to him, he's much bigger than that.
Herman Hudson, the longtime SID for SMU, came over to us, and they had to update their media guide because he's grown. He's grown 2 inches in the last year or 2.
Here he is in transition again, goes a little too strong off the window. Closing in on 2 minutes to play in the first half. Up and under move there by Bairstow. A pretty move, but the shot not so much. And the save along the baseline by Keon Ambrose Hilton.
Everything except the finish. That was a beautiful head fake by Bairstow. Just unable to finish with the little short jumper.
We're going to have a whistle away from the basketball. That's going to go against Shulga. Trying to defend against Phelps, who was moving without the basketball. It's the 6th team foul for Utah State, so no free throws yet for SMU. They'll inbound from the baseline. See the field goal percentages, they differ immensely. Phelps drops it off. Ambrose Hilton couldn't finish from underneath. But SMU gets another crack at it. Nuttall, lob pass, Ambrose Hilton finishes on the flush.
Zach Nuttall. Coach Rob Lanier calls him the leader. That's a beautiful lob pass. Unselfish play, and the pass was on point. To extend this lead to 6.
6-0 run here for the Mustangs. Ashworth drawing all kinds of attention. And that shovel pass gets by the target. Body's hitting the floor. Lead bounce pass Phelps. Ashworth trying to respond. And we got a whistle. And they're going to review something here on that sequence. But what a pass by Stefan Todorovic from his wallet. This was the preceding bucket.
Zach Nuttall with the beautiful dime. And then both teams getting after it. And then the heads-up play to throw it ahead to Zurich Phelps. That is something that coaches will rewind. Right now, though, the momentum in favor of SMU, up 8.
Welcome back. SMU up 8. Under a minute to play here in the first half, and we have a review taking place. The officials Blew the whistle on that last sequence following this Ashworth miss.
And right there, you can see Zach Nuttall. Again, I don't think there's anything there, and I think that's a good call by the refs. Nuttall's just trying to block out a big who's barreling down the lane. And again, this game has been getting physical. And guys bumping into each other all over the court. Referees trying to clean it up.
Yeah, you saw Dan Akin making his way to the free throw line, and he didn't bother with trying to avoid contact with Zach Nuttall, who was standing there as well. And Akin hits the free throw. They did review just to make sure that there was nothing more egregious attached to that foul against Nuttall. And Akin gets the second one to go. We're going to have a timeout here called by Rob Lanier. He wants to make sure his team is able to finish this first half strong. Overall, you have to appreciate the performance by the Mustangs. Utah State still somewhat cold from outside, but they also started the game against Seattle yesterday a little bit more on the colder condition side.
Well, I think it's all about points off of turnovers right now. That's the big thing. SMU, 13 points off of turnovers because of plays like this. Turnover, and then you convert it to a big-time finish and slam by Zurich Phelps. And that's the story of the game right now for SMU. Their energy on the defensive side, they are a plus 11 in the turnover margin. They have 13 points off the turnovers. Utah State only 2, and that's the difference right now. Big reason why they have the 6-point lead.
12 points for Zurich Phelps. The only other player in double figures is Sean Bairstow on the other side for Utah State. So out of the timeout, 43 seconds. Phelps will walk it up. Nuttall on the drive. And he just rises up and finishes over the Aggies defense. SMU by 8. Shot clock is off here for Utah State.
Zach Nuttall has got one of the quickest first steps in college ball, and you're absolutely right. His ability to raise up over defenders, that's a big-time finish.
Here's Ashworth, 5 seconds. Now Bairstow, someone's got to get it up. Bairstow will. And that's how the first 20 minutes come to a close. SMU ends the first half on a 10-2 run. Meanwhile, Utah State goes without a made field goal over the last 3 minutes and 58 seconds. 40-32, SMU over Utah State. We send it to Dallin Cuff, Seth Greenberg, and Tom Crean in the studio.